Boxing on DAZN, sponsored by William Hill. What a fantastic night of boxing. It really was. Before we came on camera, I just said to Mike and Barry, that was fantastic. From the first fight at 7 o'clock right to the end here now at 20 past 11, every single fight delivered. It certainly did. Ade Oladipo alongside Barry Jones, Mike Costello, Tony Bellew as well. How good was that, gents? I loved every bit of that.
I loved every bit of it, and these two are much better equipped than me to talk about what happened during the fight, but I like what we've learned afterwards. When he spoke there about dreaming about being knocked out, I remember covering Carl Froch's career, and he was at a press conference with an American called Yusuf Mack.
Yeah.
Mack was calling him a plastic Joe Calzaghe. And I said to Carl afterwards, what did you make of all that? And he just dismissed it and said, what's important is how he deals with the demons of doubt when he puts his head on the pillow at night. Now, he's had to deal with those demons of doubt. He said there he dreamt of getting knocked out. And I think that's massive now, having done that against somebody of Zepeda's standing for the rest of his career now. If and when those doubts reappear, he's now better equipped to deal with them.
Yeah, we had Kell Brook with us a bit earlier, and we was there, and look, this place has always been magnificent for Sheffield fighters because there's been so many. The conveyor belt of superstars over the years has just been there, hasn't it? He's the next one, isn't he? But he needed to do that tonight. He's done that now. He's definitely the next one.
Yeah, Jim, we talk about the crowd. I did say in commentary the crowd might not help him in this fight because they'll cheer him on with his success. But being too greedy in your success might be his downfall.
Yeah.
But the discipline he showed in his toughest fight was absolutely fantastic tonight. It really was. His composure. There were two difficult first rounds for him, but as Mike was saying to me off air, he was having a look, seeing what Zepeda problems he had, and then he clicked into gear. Then he started picking his shots up really, really well, and it looked like Zepeda would slow down considerably because Dalton Smith just got the judgment of the distance spot on.
Yeah.
I mean, for your biggest fight, you want your best performance. We always say this, and it's an obvious statement to make, but to do it is very difficult. And I said to Darren Barker off air, I said, I'm jealous because that reminds me, and it reminds you and reminds us all of the fight when you really believe that you're good. And that was the fight. You think you're good, but you're never quite sure until you beat someone. Yeah, that's the fight that's cemented for you, yeah.
You know what I think's important, and for everyone at home as well to understand, because I don't want the narrative to be that Jose Zepeda's on the wane and he's not that guy anymore. Zepeda's still a very serviceable 140-pound fighter. I think we saw that against Regis Prograis, and we saw that in points against Richardson Hitchens. Dalton Smith beat a very good 140-pounder there, Tony.
Make no mistake about it. Tonight, Dalton Smith has arrived on the world scene. Everyone will sit up and take notes of that stoppage and the manner of it. I thought he gave up the first round. I thought he lost the first round convincingly, but he was just having a look. He was getting the timing right, the angles right, the distance right, because he was facing a southpaw. And the minute he started stepping into range from round 2 onwards, he was having the first say and the last say. He might have been getting pipped in the middle of them says, but when you're having the first say and the last say, that's a big thing in boxing. And he took Zepeda apart, he really did. He was teeing off at times. And I think Zepeda was actually shocked because when you look at Dalton Smith's record and his resume, he doesn't look to be the biggest single puncher out there, but he's such a hateful, accurate and spiteful puncher. He lands so consistently, and it's always an accumulation with me, but that body shot, I spoke to his dad just at the end and he said we'd worked on that. I said I haven't seen a body shot like that since Regan Dow, since Lomachenko. It's a sickening bolo shot. It's straight into the solar plexus. There's no defense to it. Once that lands, I'm sorry, but you're either bringing up your dinner or staying down for the 10.
Yeah, it was staying down for the 20. He could have gone on and on and on. But when you look at sort of the 140-pound landscape over here in this country, it's absolutely stacked from top to bottom, right? In the world scene, it's even bigger, obviously. Where does Dalton fit into all of this?
Well, as Barry was saying on commentary, he's taken a giant step closer to all of them tonight. And if you look at the domestic scene, we've got Jack Catterall against Josh Taylor in the rematch coming up on DAZN, May the 25th. There's Teofimo Lopez and there's Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. Is Gervonta Davis going to move up? Shakur Stevenson going to move up? In the next couple of years, this could be a monster of a division. And this was the time to make a step forward to be part of the arguments that are going to come.
It's the best and the worst way to be in. in equal measure.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I couldn't agree. There's monsters everywhere.
Yeah,
The top 10's full of monsters.
But you want dance partners. He's got loads of dance partners, isn't he? We were looking at the box rep rankings domestically before tonight. This is the rankings before tonight. I mean, Josh Taylor, understandably, #1. Jack Catterall, you can see there as well. Adam Azim ranked higher than Dalton Smith, #3. What else? We've got O'Hara Davis, Harlem Eubank, Dalton Smith.
Let's just be honest, though. Does barring Jack and Josh, does any of them have a standout win as good as Zepeda on the record?
But this is after that now. This is now after the Zepeda win.
Well, I still think that's
got Dalton Smith jumping above Jack Catterall.
Can't put him above Jack Catterall.
I would say BoxRec have an algorithm. That's how they figure it out.
That's what it is, isn't it?
That's not someone's opinion. That's just an algorithm of how they work out the point scheme. Which might be the fairest way. I don't know.
Domestically looking at, would you have him above O'Hara Davis?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because O'Hara Davis fell short against Barroso recently for the interim world title shot. So and all intents and purposes, Zepeda's definitely better than Barroso for me, and that all intents and purposes could have been an interim world title shot. I thought it was a step too far when it first got announced, but it was the right step. A fighter who's boxed at world level but just fell short was the right test for him. Unfortunately, in this division, that's Zepeda, which is just unbelievably talented. In any other weight division, he's a world champion, Zepeda.
And when you consider that the gulf between, and we were saying, with all respect, Sam Maxwell and here, Sam O'Mason and here, Billy Allington and here.
It's a huge jump.
It's a giant.
You're going from domestic level to world gatekeeper. That guy's the gatekeeper. You beat him, you're good enough to be a world champion.
Yeah.
Because he only loses to top fighters or world champions. So, like I said, you don't just go from domestic to gatekeeper. You usually have a go-between, a European-style fight or a European title, someone there or thereabouts.
Let's have a look at that. We've looked domestic rankings. These are the world rankings. This is obviously, if you're Dalton Smith, this is where you want to be in the next 12 to 18 months, and that's fully loaded. I mean, you look at some of the names there. Teofimo Lopez, former undisputed at 135 pounds. I mean, sorry, Devin Haney, former undisputed, sorry, 135 pounds. I mean, look at Jose Ramirez at #5. This is super loaded.
It is, but
that's frightening.
But the top two are different. Are just different. I feel.
I don't know. You know, that guy at #4 seems to be getting avoided at the moment as well.
Oh, he is, but the other two have proven to be elite level fighters.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in there is most of them are world champions, world-class fighters, but then I'm sorry to say there's another step, and it's called elite level, and very few reach that level. When you become an undisputed unified champion, I'm sorry to say, you are elite.
Yeah, he was calling out Adam Azim. He heard it, we all heard it, the call out. Do you do that fight? I know Eddie was saying it's a backward step. Adam Azim won't think so. If you're a boxer and Adam Azim, do you make that fight now with Dalton Smith?
For who? Who are you asking?
Dalton Smith versus Adam Azim.
Well, Adam Azim doesn't make it. No, I mean, Dalton Smith wants it because Dalton Smith's the one who doesn't need it, but is the one more equipped, shall we say.
We love domestic dust-ups, though, don't we?
For me,
if you're managing Adam Azim, do you want to take that fight?
Of course you don't take it, because you look at you see Adam Azim's a talent, and he might be a world-class talent. I think he's a world-class talent. So you don't make it now. I think at one stage, he had the European title, and Dalton had the British title. I mean, at one stage, until tonight. And so that seemed a feasible fight to make.
Yeah.
But now, he's leapfrogged the European level, unfortunately. So he's not going to box for the European title anymore, because his range now is those names there we saw. He's reaching for those.
But he's just said tonight, Barry, he wants to come back down and win the European title.
I only asked the question, Barry, because he called out Adam today. That's why. He asked for it.
But I just don't see... I see him and the team, and they're going to go, listen, we've gone past that now. He got to catch you up now. I'm not saying he's not good enough. No, Adam Azim on his day is good enough to beat anyone potentially, if he keeps developing. But you got to go. We keep going now.
Yeah, indeed. Look, I want to quickly, if we can, talk about the co-main event as well. Sandy Ryan, Terry Harper. Surprised with the corner stoppage or not?
I got to say, I like the gloat. I called that to a T, by the way.
Yeah.
I very rarely get things right, so I just want to boast.
Yeah, no, own it one. Take it.
Yeah,
take
but
it.
They know their fighter. They know. He said after the first round, listen, he was reassuring her, this is the fight we knew we were going to be in. So he could see the worry on her face. So
and he asked her twice if she was okay after the first round, and it was a fairly even round.
Yeah, which says a lot, doesn't it?
He knew. To be honest, listen, he knew she was just too strong. sparring and head guards is one thing. When you start getting it with them 8-ounce gloves on, 10-ounce gloves on, different ball game. And she knew straight away from round one, as soon as the shot started landing clean, there was a boss in there.
Yeah, she was bullying her. And I mean, look,
That's it.
we know that she's been sparring Clarissa Shields, so she's been getting good rounds in America as well. I mean,
And I know they get there quicker in the women's game, but that was her 9th fight, and she looked accomplished.
that's surprising, isn't it? Again, as we were speaking about Dalton Smith, you look at the options for Sandy Ryan. So many, right? I mean, Chantel Cameron was here, Tasha Jonas, Lauren Price potentially.
The difference with the ladies is they all just fight each other.
Yeah.
We mess around. Oh, it's this, I want that, I want this, I want that. Every excuse, every Tom, Dick and Harry putting the 10 pence worth in. Managers have got agendas, promoters don't want to do it.
You can use this thing, Tony. See this thing?
The girls just say, let's do it. And they just face each other.
But the Jessica McCaskill rematch now is so mouth-watering. That is, after that performance there, that's the fight we want to see. I think
she was spiteful tonight.
Yeah, she was
I would
unbelievably
actually say
spiteful.
that, I never disagree with you, but I actually would love to see Lauren Price. Obviously, Lauren Price fetched Jessica McCaskill. If Lauren Price comes through that, that's almost two bullies in there with each other.
I got to say, I know it's not. I'm on the wrong platform to say it, and I might be biased to Welsh, but I think Lauren Price will win.
No one's beaten Sandy Ryan.
No, against Jessica McCaskill.
Oh, okay.
In the next fight, I think she's so talented.
Yeah. So there you go. There we go. We're trying to sell it for you here. Sandy Ryan versus Lauren Price potentially for the future.
Hold that while I hit you.
Ishmael Davis gets the job done against Troy Williamson. Come on, guys. Ishmael Davis gets the job done against Troy Williamson.
Yeah, he done.
I almost feel like there's another couple of gears, though, with Ishmael Davis. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, I was sort of saying that, but then I sort of had to check myself and thought, this is his first 12-rounder, which was meant to be a 10-rounder, against a really experienced guy. And, and you're meant to be tired, but I do think there's more. You're going to say, I'm going to beat you to it. There are more gears in him. Yeah. But Troy Williamson was fantastic in defeat, I thought. He really had it. No, he looked like he was out a few times, kept plugging away. But Davis, he needs a bit more energy in his work.
I was talking with Addy and I said, I don't know whether he's holding back or is he not fit or does he not believe he can do the 12
That's how you train,
rounds?
I think, Tony.
Yeah, I just thought you've got so much ability on the inside, on the outside. He's got everything, but he's just not letting his hands go now. It could be his first 12 rounder, but I said to Addy, you know what it's like in our first 12 round. Once you get to 10, you know you're good enough for 12.
Yeah.
And I thought he's going to get to 10 here and go, I've done it easy, I feel great, but he didn't. He just picked and chose when he picked his moments, which is very clever, but I know there's so much more in him.
But he hadn't been beyond 8
Yeah.
in his professional career, and that's half as much again. And after the first round, he asked his trainer, is that pace okay?
Yeah, he's second guessing himself.
So very early on, he had the 12 rounds
mind.
in his mind.
Yeah, final
Once
one.
you get to 10, you know.
Yeah, final one. Sorry, Tony. Final one. Campbell Hatton, obviously losing, and his quest to emulate his dad and become a Central Area champion, 25 years on, losing to James Flint. What did you make of Campbell Hatton's performance? You've covered all of his fights, so you would have seen the steady improvement. Obviously not enough tonight, but are we seeing improvement? Are we seeing enough?
I think what we saw tonight was a youngster beaten by maturity and a man who'd been in tougher contests, to and fro contests, and in the end was beaten quite convincingly.
Yeah. Tony, you said that he's reached his level. Barry, do you kind of
I said he's
agree
found.
with that as
I
well?
think I said he's found
Found
his
his
level.
level. Apologies.
I think so. I think
I'm trying to get you in trouble here, Tony.
Yeah,
Apologies.
I
Don't
think
fancy his dad on my case.
he's my size, to be fair. But yes, he might have, but there's no shame there. Your level's your level. But what he showed was innate toughness, and he dug in deep when he had to, and he should be commended for that.
Yeah.
But he was second best on the night. I'm not saying he can't go beyond this level, but maybe he can't, and there's no shame in that. You find out where you are when you get to where you are.
Massive bollocks he showed to dig in the way he did and just keep going, because there was times tonight where in them last 4 rounds he was feeling it. The body shots were landing, and this kid comes from a different world than 90% of fighters.
Yeah.
99% of fighters, let's be honest, he's got a super famous father with an amazing pedigree and heritage, and he's have to take on that name since he turned pro, and it's a lot of pressure, and at any moment this lad could just go, you know what, I've had enough, just leave it alone. But he doesn't. He wants to chase a dream, and he chased it and chased it and chased it. Even when he got hurt at times, was struggling, and I thought, you know what, lad, fair play, good on you, because you didn't spew it. He could have easily just
Yeah, of course.
I said I've had enough and walked off, and no one would have blamed him because it was tough in there at times tonight, but he didn't. He dug in, and And good on you, Campbell Hatton.
Yeah, I think he showed
what
us
we
something.
saw was a big part of the fascination of boxing for me tonight. You know, Ishmael Davis stepped up, Nico Lavaz just before Campbell Hatton stepped up, Dalton Smith stepped up, Campbell Hatton couldn't. You just never know when you're making that step, can they produce what they need that we haven't seen before?
But James
Whatever
Flint
anybody's seen in sparring or wherever, they've still got to do it under these lights.
They've got to actually get in and prove it, Mike. It's all well and good us saying, we think you do, but ultimately, you've got to get in. Doesn't matter who your dad is, doesn't matter who your trainer is, the fighter has to get in there and take it with both hands.
Gents, it's been a great night, as always. Mike, thank you so much. Barry, Tony, thank you as well. Look, it's been a great night from a venue where local heroes and world champions like Nassim Hamed, Johnny Nelson, Kelbrook, Junior Witter, Woods, Edwards, all have shone under the lights. And tonight, it was a turn of young Dalton Smith to show he is ready to take on the world and become the latest man of steel.
We're going for the World Championship. Get out of the way, we're coming through. Bosh.
Boxing on DAZN, sponsored by William Hill.